In this video, we'll be going through the fundamentals of a circle, how to find the circle center and how to find its radius. And this is important because every exam question in circles starts from understanding these fundamentals. Suppose you're given an equation where you have to determine the circle of the following cases. We have the most important cases. So we will be using this holy grail of equation of a circle that says x minus a all squared, y minus b all squared is equals to r squared, where a and b are the coordinates of the circle center, where r is our radius. And it's also important to have a good relationship in understanding that these negative signs inside the brackets exist in the standard equation, and this will really be helpful in really not making many errors and misconceptions, of which I'll cover here. So let's go on. First question, where we're given the circle center to be 0 to 0, it means it's at the origin, and the radius of the circle is equals to 7. And you're asked to determine the equation. So what I need to do is just substitute what we given into the equation. So this means that this is A and B, circle center, and our radius. It says given a 7. So we're going to go to our formula, will be x minus our a value is 0, so we just substitute 0 squared. Y minus our b value is 0, so we just substitute 0 is equals to, now we radius is 7, we substitute 7, which means x minus 0 will be x, which will be x squared. Y minus 0 will be y, which will be y squared, and 7 squared is 49. So this will be our equation of a circle that has circle center of 0, 0, and the radius of 7. So let's move on to the next question, 1.2, which builds our knowledge on circle centers and the radius. So we're given the circle center this time to be 0 and 0, and we also told that there's a point on the circle which is Q, which is given by 6 is to 10. So try to visualize circle where you have a circle center, and then you have a point on the circle. This will be our Q. Let's say this point given as O as a circle center. So we can see that we're not given the radius, so we'll need to calculate the radius, the distance from the circle center to the circumference. It's called the radius, and we have to use the coordinates of O and the coordinates of Q to calculate that distance and to find the radius. So let's go ahead and apply that knowledge. It means we're going to use the distance formula. It's wise to label your coordinates so as to not make silly mistakes. Call this distance, and distance formula given by x2 minus x1 all squared plus y2 minus y1 all squared. Then we just substitute and then we plug and we play x2 is given by 6 minus x1, which is 0. Y2 is given by 10 minus y1, which is 0 squared. So you can go ahead and punch everything into the calculator. So you have a square root of 136. That's the distance between O and Q, which means our R, or radius, is given by 136. If you wish, you can simplify this further into a third, which will give you 2 root of 34. We know that this is our circle center. We know that this is our radius. So let's just plug everything into the formula. How do we do that? How will this look like? It will be x, our circle center, our value of a, our b is there, which will be x minus 0 squared, y minus 0 squared. Then our radius is 2 root of 34 squared, which will be x squared plus y squared. Then we just square everything in that bracket, which should give us 136. And this will be the equation of the circle. So let's go to the third case. It's very interesting. And when you understand these cases, it will really broaden your understanding of circle and radius, and it will be less intimidating in the exam. Now we're given the diameter of AB and the points respectively. Let's try to visualize this and try and draw a quick diagram. So we're given that we have a diameter AB. So we know that there's somewhere there, the circle center, that's unknown, given as x, coordinates of x and y. We know that the circle center will be something called the midpoint. The midpoint is the halfway point of the 2 points. So we'll need to find the midpoint, calculate the midpoint formula to find our circle center. And we can also calculate the length of our radius, which is only the distance from the circle center to the diameter, by calculating the diameter, the length of the diameter, and dividing it by 2, which means that we have two really outputs from here. We need to first calculate the length of AB, which will give us the diameter, and we know that the radius is equal to the diameter divided by 2. And then we'll find our radius, and to calculate circle center, we need to find the midpoint of coordinates A and B. So let's go ahead and have fun answering this question. So we have coordinates of A, which is 3 is 2 minus 4. Coordinates of B, which is 7 is 2 minus 2. And as always, I always label my points so as to not be complacent and lose unnecessary marks by inaccurately substituting values. So we need to find the distance of AB. And the distance of AB, as we've seen, is x2, should be 7, minus x1, which will be 3, plus y2, which will be minus 2, minus y1, which is minus 4, all squared. So really, to save time, we can always take our calculators and punch everything into the calculator and see what it gives us. We're getting 2 root of 5, which means that's the distance between A and B. That's not the radius, it's the entire distance from A to B, which is 2 root of 5. And the radius will be half that value divided by 2, which means the radius will be 2 root of 5 divided by 2. The 2's will cancel, which means the radius is the square root of 5. So now, since we found the radius, we need to calculate the circle center, which is the midpoint of the 2 points. Let's go ahead and calculate that using the midpoint formula. Go ahead and do that using the midpoint formula. X at M, Y at M. This should give us x1, which is 3, plus x2, 7 over 2, y1, which is minus 4, y2, which is minus 2, all divided by 2. If you're wondering where I'm getting these formulas, just from recollection or in the formula sheet, you should be able to find them, which will be given by 10 over 2, minus 6 over 2, which is 5, is to negative 3. That will be the midpoint, and that will be the circle center. Now we found the circle center and the radius. Let's write and answer the question, because the question is asking us to write down the equation of the circle. So the equation of the circle using that template will be x minus our A value is 5, x minus 5 squared, plus our y value is y minus, the minus is from the equation, but see that our b value is minus 3, so we put it in brackets. And this is a common error that many learners make. They confuse the minus there and the minus of the value. So just if you are given a value of minus, just put it in brackets and substitute it there. It is equals to radius square root of 5 or squared. So let's just tidy up our equation. We tidy it up to be x minus 5 squared plus y. We see negative times negative will give us positive. 3 squared, and the square root of 5 all squared will give us 5. And in that way, we're going to get all our 4 marks. And that will be done.